Bayram, the Middle East spokesperson of the Norwegian Refugee Council. And Jan Egeland, your boss, has released a statement. How ready is the NRC to act once they're allowed in, Ahmed?
We are ready. We have over 240 of our colleagues waiting to scale up, waiting to bring that aid in. We have over 200 worth of trucks waiting in Egypt and in Jordan, waiting to go in. It all depends now on Israel following through on its commitments. It has committed to 400 aid trucks every day. Of course, this is in no way sufficient. But yes, we have everything ready, and we are ready to go, pending these approvals from the Israeli side.
Ahmed, what is the process when an aid delivery enters Gaza's territory? Who meets that delivery? Is it Israeli soldiers? Is it Palestinian civilians? And then the process of its movement around the Strip. In terms of security, your people need to be safe.
Absolutely, and it's a tedious, exhausting process, mainly because of long inspections. And I'll give you an example of goods and supplies arriving in Ashdod, for example, where they have to undergo inspections at the Ashdod port and then have to make their way into the Ashdod crossing or Erez. Now, this process undergoes double duplicate inspections, for example, before they have even crossed into Gaza. And once they are in, of course, aid agencies like the Norwegian Refugee Council, we have to go through a coordination process with other agencies, mainly the UN. But these convoys are never safe. Of course, there have been lootings, there have been shootings, there have been attacks on these convoys. So it's not a straightforward process. We are talking about days, which is why we now need Israel to remove these obstacles, to remove these duplicate inspections, and allow a smoother transition of aid convoys from point A to point Z.
And however quickly the assistance arrives, it's going to take a long time for people to regain the healthiness they had before, because if someone is malnourished or if someone is starving, they need to be taken care of in a very, very careful manner. You can't just say, here's the food, here's the water, you'll be fine. Because the internal organs are also suffering. I know neither of us are doctors, Ahmed, but so many of us have spoken to so many health professionals. We've begun to understand some of the effect on the human body. They're talking about 400 aid trucks going in. I mean, Gaza needs possibly even 1,000 a day.
And probably even more, and not just for a day or a week or a month or a year. We're now talking about years of unconditional aid that Gaza needs. Of course, on top of all the reasons you have mentioned, we are talking about people who have lost their jobs, people who have lost their homes, education, children who have lost their education. These things, recovery, reversing all these issues are going to take years and probably, maybe even a decade. I don't know. But I think for that to happen, we need that commitment. We're still talking about starvation. Of course, the ceasefire is not going to end that overnight, the famine. And of course, at the same time, the displacement of hundreds of thousands, the education that has been lost, the universities, the schools that have been razed and bombed, and of course, everything in between. It's a long process, and I think we need long-term commitment. We need long-term guarantees, particularly from those who have negotiated this deal and got it over the line.
What about the NRC's infrastructure in Gaza? Is it still standing? Does it need to be rebuilt like most of the enclave?
Our infrastructure is mostly tents now, Adnan. I mean, with the rest of aid agencies and with the rest of the population, we have staff who have lost everything, who have lost loved ones. Of course, that's probably the biggest, the most tragic toll of all. Our premises have changed over the course of this conflict. We had to move premises, including also relocating over the last period during the offensive on Gaza City. None of this is normal, of course, environment for us to operate in. But of course, we have to prioritize the people who are now living on the street, who have nothing. They have no water, no glass of water, no drinking water, no supplies for their children, no food, and they should take all priority for now, of course.
Ahmed Bayram, thank you so much, Ahmed. This is an important moment for the people of Gaza and maybe even for the whole world. Let's see what happens. Really appreciate it.